Contrary to what you're seeing on the media, South Africans are not xenophobic. Contrary to what you're seeing in the media.
You are so scared of white people. You are so scared of white people. You are so scared of Indians.
I'm a South African currently in Ghana, and in light of recent xenophobic attacks that have yet again been reported in South Africa, I just wanted to share some thoughts.
Foreigners are not the problem. We are. Let me say that again. Foreigners are not destroying South Africa. Our failed leaders, our broken economic model, and our silence are. We are chasing.
There is a recent video that have been trending on the internet of a man talking about that South Africans are not xenophobic. According to him, he says South Africans love Ghanaians, Nigerians, Zimbabweans, and other nationals in their country, that the media is just portraying the wrong thing about South Africa. Did you agree with me? Do you all agree with me that South Africans are not xenophobic? Oh my God, let's take a look at the videos, then we'll be right back.
Contrary to what you're seeing on the media, South Africans are not xenophobic. Contrary to what you're seeing in the media. Now, that statement sounds a blasty statement, especially because of some of the things you would have seen online. I'm not saying that there are no xenophobic people in South Africa. That's not what I'm saying. I'm simply saying the entire nation is xenophobic would be missing the point. There are 65 million people in South Africa. We have 11 official languages. We're one of the most diverse societies in the world, and even though that is the case, we get along with most people. If you go and look at the largest companies in South Africa and the CEOs or boards of those companies, you will find that the CEOs or boards or C-suite executives are many people from the rest of Africa. So I think I felt that it was important for me to say that. The second point I want to make is this. I think that there is an agenda to turn us against each other. And I think we feed that agenda when we feed the noise and the fire. And so what I'd like to think we can do is to reach across the divide, have actual conversations, understand what's happening, as they say in Kenya, kwa ground.
What is the name of the country that party all the time, play all the time, sing all the time, club all the time, drink all the time, smoke all the time, but when the issues of economy come, they will blame the foreigners for hijacking their resources and for making them poor? If you know the name of this country, please let me know, because I'll be waiting and willing to hear about it. Okay?
South African men are so intimidated by Nigerian brothers because Nigerian brothers own businesses. Nigerian brothers, they have the means to take care of women and give women money. They have the means to do what is necessary, bro. They take care of families, Nigerian men. And Nigerian men, bro, they are so fit, like physically fit, because they eat healthy food. They are intimidated by that because they don't want them. They don't like Nigerian men, because Nigerian men, when they see a Nigerian man, they see a man who's gonna take from them. So it's an insecurity in a way. They don't want to reflect. They don't want to look at it in a mirror and work on themselves. But they instead want to blame like our people, our brothers. It's one thing, bro. It must be different languages, of course. Even in South Africa, it's different languages anyway.
I'm a South African currently in Ghana, and in light of recent xenophobic attacks that have yet again been reported in South Africa, I just wanted to share some thoughts. Now, firstly, of course, I can only speak on behalf of myself, but I do believe that there are many South Africans who share similar sentiments. Now, firstly, I am a very patriotic South African. I love my country. And I am also a Pan-Africanist. I have a deep love for Africa, and I truly believe in our shared humanity. So the recent reports of xenophobia in South Africa again has left me deeply disturbed, as it always does. I think maybe where we can start off is by talking about what xenophobia is, right, and what it is not. What it is I guess they call it a fear or a hatred or distrust and discrimination against people from different countries, right? What it is not is an act of patriotism. It is not law enforcement, and it can never be in pursuit of justice, because it is itself an injustice, right? Violence and brutality against our African brothers and sisters is something that I like to believe most South Africans do not support. Okay, but one of the greatest dangers, I suppose, that we face is that the loudest voices are often mistaken for the majority, right? So a small group is driven by frustration, they take to the streets, they act violently, then these actions are amplified and shared and repeated until they become, or they begin to define an entire nation, right? But that's not the full picture. South Africa is home to over 60 million people, and most of whom do not engage in violence. They go about their daily lives, working, raising families, and coexisting peacefully with people from across the continent and from across the world. But the truth is that peaceful people are often silent, and silence is easily misinterpreted as agreement. So that's why I'm choosing not to be silent, because there is nothing in our constitution that justifies violence. There's nothing in our constitution that allows citizens to take the law into their own hands. There's nothing in our constitution that justifies intimidation. Yes, the Freedom Charter does say that the people shall govern, but what does that mean? It means that we hold the state accountable, not that we replace it. It means participation, not vigilantism. And it means justice, not mob action. So, of course, frustrations exist, right? The current form of response that we're seeing to that, though, is not lawful and is not justifiable, right? Now, if we allow incidents like these to define us, I think we create something that's even more dangerous than the violence itself, which is a distorted narrative, right? We then begin to believe that all foreigners are undocumented, that all people from certain nationalities are criminals, and that all South Africans are violent, yet none of this is true, right? But this is how narratives are formed. Small and loud groups shape perception, and perception shapes reality. And my reality and my perception has been shaped by my own lived experiences, of course. I had the privilege of studying under an African Union scholarship for my master's, and I did so alongside peers from all over Africa. And in that environment, I really came to understand the true meaning of Ubuntu, which is what we South Africans should be living by, right? I am because we are. I learned that beyond the borders, beyond the culture, beyond the languages, we're far more similar than we are different. I've traveled to countries across Africa, like Nigeria, like Ghana, like Cameroon, Algeria, and I have experienced such warmth and such hospitality, such humanity, and I know of many other Africans who've experienced the same in South Africa, and that is the Africa that I know, and that is the Africa that I believe in, and that's the Africa that I love. Our continent's long been guided by ideas and ideals of Pan-Africanism, right? Led by voices such as Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Nyerere, Nelson Mandela, and they all envisioned an Africa that is united, that is not divided, that's collaborative and not hostile, and that's rooted in dignity and mutual respect, right? And xenophobia just stands in direct opposition to this vision. But of course, we have to be balanced and we have to be honest. We know that South Africa, like many other countries, face real challenges, right? We have challenges of unemployment, we have challenges of inequality, we do have challenges of illegal immigration, and these are legitimate concerns, but I think misdirecting all our frustrations towards Africans does not solve our problem. It in fact deepens it. I think it's important to recognize that there are many foreign nationals who live in South Africa, live and work in South Africa legally, and many contribute very meaningfully to the economy and to the society, and many experience South Africa as welcoming and as full of opportunity, and the opposite is also true. There are many foreign nationals who are in South Africa illegally and who do not contribute to the economy or to the society, and in fact contribute to its destruction, right? Both realities can exist. But violence cannot be the response to either. I think let me just wrap up by saying that I love South Africa and I love Africa, and that is why moments like these are, for me, really painful, because they don't reflect who we are at our core, right? I think let's just not define a nation by its worst moments, and let us not allow small and loud minorities to define our identity. I think we need to reclaim the narrative, and we are not enemies. We are family, we are Africans.
Just because South Africans bafuna stronger immigration laws on people that come into South Africa who are not South Africans does not mean that's xenophobia, guys. It does not mean that. If it's niyayazi imithetho from other countries, niyayazi imithetho like from other countries. I don't even think people talk about this. They travel, but they don't share the things that they go through, their experiences about when they land in those other countries. I'm a criminal, bruh. They take us to these offices. Question con, bas interrogate. Do you have biltong on you? Do you have raw meat? Do you have amanyama question in faith anganangondo. Bayak interview and daughter to just get into their country. You are in a full-on interview. I spend more than an hour to 2 hours. Une visa that time. You have all the proper documents. You don't just get let through. No. If you are connecting to London, you need a visa. You are not even going to London. Udingi visa. You're catching a flight somewhere. Udinga visa. Do you understand? These people can even take your phone. Most US figure they can even take your phone. Figi zinja around anje labo pobi. Nuga. Abakbuz gutu nama alechi rauna ba alechi. Abanandaba they don't give a shit. Labandio musicians. Abapumayo bayo shama gig somewhere. Abanjeli. Even though they're rocking Gucci, they're rocking whatever. Bayazki palekatul. They also go through the same process, bruh. Aibayenzi special just because they're big in South Africa. It does not eliminate them. They need to speak up more. I have big respect for Oscar Mbo. I saw his post and I was like, that's what's up. AKA Nai was one of the people who used to talk a lot about these things. These two people are the only people that I know. Audacity of people who come into our country and basbizeng amagama just because we enforcing the fact that we want stronger laws is insane. They are booking out venues. Inyugiyama South African le. They are wealthy. They have all this money. Ngati. With South Africans, they rely on bookings. Siyabasapota mfethu. Siyabasapota. They have all our support. But basbonga ngani. Problem is my favorite artist wenu agruva nama politician amanya jola nama politician, the same politicians who are supposed to be helping us with these same laws. So these celebrities lama faves wenu are not gonna speak up for you guys because they are eating bayadla. They're securing bags. They don't care about anything else. They're greedy. And they don't think about labanta bapansi. Once they're there on top, it's done. It's chai. Pelili. Maraninan Pizi, you dancing to every music that they release. It's nice. You guys need to start boycotting. You need to start boycotting these artists. You need to start doing that. Because they could be doing so much better. They rely on the South African people, bruh. They rely on us. They are where they are because of support. Boycottani labantu. It's not just politicians. Politicians know what they're doing with these artists. They know. Boycottani labantu. They're gonna feel it. And without your support, they are nothing. So, do the right thing, guys, for your futures at least. Nama future wabantwana benu.
Because foreigners do not actually share their real life experiences on the internet. Not everyone is on the internet trying to share or talk about the xenophobic attacks on them. That doesn't really mean that there is no xenophobic attacks to foreigners in South Africa. South Africans, truth be told, there are some South Africans that do not like foreigners. They don't want to see them. They don't want to see them at all. And that is the truth. A lot of creators, a lot of people may not actually tell you guys the truth to your face. But me here, I'm going to tell you that there are xenophobic attacks on foreigners in South Africa. And I wouldn't say all South Africans are involved. Because I shared a video today, videos of South Africans against the Dudula, whatever, or March on March protest that is currently happening in South Africa. There are foreigners, there are South Africans that are against it. They don't want it. And they criticize it so badly. So I wouldn't say all South Africans are xenophobic. So if this man wants to put his statement, he should put it this way, that not all South Africans are xenophobic. That doesn't really mean South Africans, some of them are not xenophobic. Most of them are.